Hey there, Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. Yesterday, I was getting this reoccurring comment about that Super Ryobi battery pack. And he was saying, why it seemed like an oxymoron to put a cord on it. And you're probably right to a certain extent, but there are some thoughts that you might want to think about. Why would you want a power pack instead of just a single battery? Um, I can tell you right now, you know who she first off, there was a comment about, wow, she wouldn't be so heavy if I did that instead. I should tell you, I don't want to get between her and her yard work. She loves doing that stuff. She loves working in the garden. It's not my thing. So it actually works out very well that she likes to do that stuff. So that's why she does it. um, Second, if I can take the weight off of that machine and put it onto her shoulder, it makes that machine easier for her to actually operate. And she liked the idea of it being that cord being there is not in the way. It's not like you have to run the cord all the way to the house. This is just a little short cord to go from where the power is to using the tool. And there are times when that cord would be in the way, like on a drill or something. Yeah, I could see that. But you don't need a lot of battery power. But if you're out there in the middle of the yard going from place to place with the weed whacker doing all this work, and then all of a sudden the battery gives out, guess what? You're going to walk all the way back to get it. So this does save you from having to do that. And yeah, you could carry the battery separately, but then why not go ahead and plug them both in and you'll be able to not have to stop. Now, there is one other subtle thing that I didn't even mention before, but I should mention now, I guess, and that is that not only do you get longer running time off that when you run it, but believe it or not, you actually get more horsepower out of the thing too. I noticed that every single time I use a 9 amp hour battery over the 5 amp hour battery, I could feel an increase, especially on the circular saw. You could really tell the difference between using those two batteries. Or go from a 1.5 amp hour battery to the 9 amp, you'll really notice it on the saw. That same theory holds true if you plug in two 9 amp hour batteries instead of just one. You do bring that horsepower up for what it can run. And so, as long as you're not putting too much horsepower on it, why not? Now, is there a limit to this? There might be. I'm not sure. Like I said, that's probably why I hadn't mentioned it yet, because I'm not sure if long term wise, having all those batteries running that unit instead of just one, is that going to cause any damage to the unit? I doubt it, but I don't know for sure at this moment yet. It's something I have to kind of look at and evaluate. So your opinion on those things would be very, very helpful. And that's the only thing that is still the unknown in trying to use multiple batteries. Well, the main one. I also have the thought that if you're going to use a battery pack, how many batteries do you put in parallel to gain some usage, but yet how many batteries can really be joined together in parallel on tool batteries? I personally, I know that most batteries out there in the 12-volt range that are regular batteries, the manufacturer recommends you to not put more than 4 in parallel. And I don't know why that is. There's something about batteries maybe I don't know, but I think they say 6. Maybe it is. Either 4 or 6 is the most you should put in parallel. I can tell you that since all I'm doing is using them as a power source, I'm not charging them in parallel. I think you can gang them up, but I don't see any reason to go to 6 or 8 batteries and altogether to run something for days instead of running it for minutes or hours. So I can see where it could be handy. A battery pack, put a battery in it, put several batteries in it, put a light on it, and set it out somewhere where you can run the light for days. Maybe that's an advantage. So making the battery pack can be an advantage, but I don't know how many batteries really can go into a battery pack or why you would need a whole lot of batteries yet. But I might come up with a reason. So at this point, it's just, I think the 4 battery pack unit, so you can put up to from 1 to 4 into it, would be a good usage, and you may sometimes only use 2 batteries in it. to give you that little extra. Sometimes maybe you want to put 4 batteries in it. So it's just something that you would use on the fly instead of just having to carry the batteries separately maybe. So anyway, these are my thoughts about doing a battery pack so that, and with the short cord, instead of just plugging one battery in, I can see where that could make a difference on a lot of the tools out there when you start thinking about it. Nothing to say how many trips you're going to save. So anyway, I wanted to explain that real quick to everybody. I know that most of you guys out there look at this and you thought, why would you do that? I will tell you, she does love that idea because it does make it lighter for her. And I will tell you something else. There's no way I'm going to get between her and her weed whacker because she loves doing that stuff. I don't particularly like it. I would do it if it had to get done and I was the one to do it. But as long as she likes doing it, why not make her life even easier? And if she can carry that battery on her back instead of on her arms, why not? So I think there's some advantages to the battery pack thing. What the usage would be, I think that remains to be seen. But that little short cord, that's the least of my worries because it's right there with you anyway. Anyway, I could ramble on and on about this, but I probably shouldn't. I thank everybody for their comments on this and their thoughts. Any further comments or thoughts about what I've discussed today, just leave it in a comment. I appreciate it, and I do read them all. If you learned something here or you like this video, hit that like button. Lets me know I'm doing something right. Most importantly, though, please come back again because I'm nowhere near done. Thanks, and we'll see you guys again very soon.